guys, my name's Hannah, and as a science teacher I've decided to bring some of my experiments I'd normally do in the classroom to you guys at home in lockdown. Hopefully this will not only give you something to do whilst we've all got some time on our hands, but also maybe a way for you guys to learn something new and could also help with your homeschool. Each experiment throughout the next couple of weeks will have its own downloadable and printable resources for you guys to use at home, and can also help you to do a little project after I finish my experiment and after you finish watching the video. So click on the link and go explore those resources and see which of the projects you would like to do. Today, for our first experiment, I'm inspired by Easter. Obviously Easter's coming up in the next week, and also we're going to start with a biology topic because biology is my specialism, so being slightly biased here, but we are going to do a daffodil dissection. So I'm just going to go through what you guys will need today. If you have daffodils in your garden, or if you see them out and about on your daily walk, go grab a daffodil. Okay, if you can't find any daffodils anywhere, just go find a flower in your garden and you can follow along anyway, because you can use what I'm telling you to find them on your own flowers. So, but if you do find a daffodil, go grab one. And next time your parents are maybe going to the shops to go do their essential shop, they may be selling them in Tesco. So go have a look. So you need some flowers or daffodils. You'll also need some sort of chopping board to lay out your pieces on. You'll also need pen, coloured pen if you fancy kind of jazzing it up a little bit. Some paper, some plain paper will do. I just found some green paper lying around. You'll also need some sellotape, and I've got a little bit of kitchen paper here, and if your parents allow you to, or with their supervision, some scissors as well. Okay, so you can now pause the video if you need to go get your bits and pieces and get yourself organised, but if not, let's get started. Okay, so take your daffodil, and it may be easier to actually remove the stem, so you can break it off by just twisting off the top. And there you are. You'll now be left with the flower part of our plant. You may notice that there was a papery-like part enclosing your flower that looks like this. This is called the spathe. You can just peel it off really gently and then you can get rid of it. You probably won't want to include this in your final flower poster, so you can simply just remove it and then get rid of it. Okay, so the easiest way to start your flower dissection is starting on the outside. We are going to start with a part called the tepals. The tepals will be found on the outside. They look like petals, but they will be larger than the other petals we will look at later. So you can start by peeling these off gradually and then laying them out on your chopping board to dry, because they may be a bit damp or a bit wet if you've kept them in a vase or got them from the garden outside. So start to peel them off and then lay them out one at a time on your chopping board. As you start to remove your tepals, you'll start to notice some smaller, maybe different coloured parts. These are now the petals. So I've just laid mine out slightly separately to separate the different parts as you're dissecting it, so you can keep track of which parts are which. As you get to the centre of your daffodil, you'll notice a part that surrounds the centre of your daffodil. I accidentally just tore mine, so you do have to be careful, but you are able to peel it all in one go. That was an extra petal there. In the centre, I've got my corona here. Funnily enough, obviously this part is called corona, but it means crown in Spanish, and you can have a look there. Kind of like a crown-like looking structure in the centre that surrounds all those really important parts in the centre. You can peel it off all in one go. I struggled a bit with mine, but see if you can peel it off and keep it all together. Now your daffodil or your flower may look slightly different to mine. Mine had loads of layers. However, you may only have 6 large petals and then the corona in the middle. So don't worry if it does look different. As I said, mine just has many layers to it. Okay, so we've finished with the outer parts of our flower. We've got our tepals and our petals and our corona. You may just have petals and corona. Now we're going to have a look at the centre parts. These parts are responsible for reproduction, for producing new flowers. So let's take. So our daffodils will have both male and female parts. We're going to start by having a look at the male part here. So look for a thin stalk-like structure. This is your filament. Now normally the filament would have an anther on the top part there at the very top, but they have been removed here. That is because mine are from the grocery store. The anther at the top would be responsible for the pollen, so they have been removed because they're being sold in the grocery store. But usually you'd find them there. If you manage to find some wild ones, you may have an anther on top there. So you can go ahead and start collecting these on your chopping board by peeling them off. If your flowers do have anthers, be careful with the pollen because pollen can stain and people can be quite allergic to pollen, so do be careful and wash your hands after and make sure you don't spread the pollen. Once you've removed the last anther, you are now left with the female parts in the centre. So first of all, you've got your pistil. Your pistil is made up of 2 parts. The long stem-like structure is our style, and on top of the style you find the stigma. If you can use your nails and pierce inside just underneath, this is opening up your ovary in the plant. If you're gentle enough and you open it up inside, you can split it in half. It is quite tough, but you can use your nails or scissors. If you have a look closely, you'll have some jelly-like little structures inside. These look a bit like eggs, and in a way they are or will be. These are our ovules. This is what will be fertilised after pollination to develop into seeds and then eventually new flowers. Now you'll just want to use your scissors to remove our top female part there, the style and the stigma, so that we can stick it on our paper separately. And then we're left with the ovary. You'll probably just want to use one of these on your paper, but you can use both if you wish. And then you can place it with your other parts. You have now finished your dissection and we're ready for the next part. Okay, for this part you'll need to get your paper ready, along with your sellotape and a pen or coloured pen, and definitely some paper towel. Now it's completely up to you how you wish to arrange your parts. I will include different options for you in your resources, but when you start out it's important that you maybe dry it off with your paper towel for each part because they may still be a bit damp and you don't want to ruin your paper. I've decided to start in this centre with my ovary, so I'm going to decide where it's going to go and use a little bit of sellotape to secure it. It's also important the sellotape goes right around the ovary so none of the ovules fall off. A little more sellotape to secure the top. And then we can label our parts that we have here. So at the bottom we have our ovary. The ovary is an important female part that's responsible for producing and looking after our ovules. We can also label the ovules themselves. Next I've got my other female parts that I'm going to pop on the top there, and again secure with a bit of sellotape. And again you can label them. So I've got my style, which is the long part there, and at the top is the stigma. These two parts together make up something called the pistil. So the stigma and the style together make the pistil. Next I'm going to take my filaments and arrange them around the flower. You guys might be a bit more creative than me, so it might look a bit better than mine. You can decide how you want to arrange them. You don't have to include all the parts. I don't think I put all my filaments on here. And then again you can secure it with a little bit of sellotape. So our filaments are responsible for holding the anthers up in the plant so that your plant can be pollinated. We want our pollen to be collected by insects or blown about by the wind, so it's important that they're held up and out of the flower. So here I've labelled my filament. I'm actually going to draw on my anthers at the top there. This is what they would have looked like. If you do have anthers, then put a little bit of sellotape on them too so pollen doesn't spread around too much. The anther and the filament together make up a structure called the stamen, and those are our male parts. So I'm just going to go around with sellotape now and secure all of my filaments. And then get your next part ready. I've decided to go for my corona because the corona actually surrounds all of these reproduction parts in the middle. So I've just decided to spread mine out. You can do it however you wish. I'm not that artistic, unfortunately. so I'm sure you can make yours look a lot better than this. But I've decided to spread mine out because I did end up breaking my corona. You may want to keep your corona all in one part and not break it apart, because that's actually how it looks in the flower. So make sure you label it again and then secure it with more tape. You may decide you want to label it before putting your tape on so that the writing can go underneath the sellotape, because it is quite difficult to write with a biro on the tape. Next, I've got my petals. So again, I'm going to label them. The petals play a really important part in the life cycle of our flowers. They are responsible for attracting our insects to the flower so that they can collect the pollen and pollinate another flower so that we can produce more daffodils. So I'll just make sure that all these parts are now secure with tape on my paper. Now moving on to the final part, I've got my tepals, which are the larger petal-like looking structures on the outside. As I've said before, you may not have as many layers as these, and you can do a bit of research into your type of daffodil or your type of plant. It may be that they only have petals, or that they only have tepals and maybe the corona in the middle. So have a little look, do a little bit of research, because all flowers are different, even the different types of daffodils. So again, I'm going to label them. Then I'm going to get more sellotape. Stick them down. So there you have it, your finished flower dissection, and hopefully a beautiful picture to go with it. Remember, you can have a look on the resources as well to give you different ideas on how to lay out your flower. You may want to give this another go with a different type of flower from your garden, try to find all the different parts, or you can use my resources to go on and do a research project after this, investigating the different parts of the flower. But I hope you've enjoyed yourself and had fun, and see you next time. Bye!